Obviously, we're through the, whatever we want to call, the transition from Trump to Biden, right? We're through all that. We have some things we got to talk about on what now is going to happen with President Biden in presidency and how that impacts what we do. Okay, his first big goal, 100 million vaccines in 100 days. That would be just amazing, right? Pray that we can get that accomplished, because that does positively change everything that we're talking about and how we go about living our daily lives and how we go about professionally working within our real estate communities. Talking about increasing minimum wage to $15 an hour. Okay, another big one. That's something that we need to keep an eye on and how it would impact our communities and how that money would be spent to maybe afford other things, more necessities in life, right? So whether that's increasing rental expenses or is it being able to finally get that first house at $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, right? Challenges we have here, we have now that they're opening up, he's saying that we want to be able to apply for forbearance through September. It's going to be a bit of a challenge for our industry and how we adjust to that. We've already kind of got accustomed to it, and it was in the beginning where if you're in forbearance, you're not going to be able to buy a house. You have to wait 12 months. Right? And now we've kind of figured out, okay, what's going to happen truly with forbearance. And it's more about when that house is sold, let's ensure that the forbearance is paid off, and you can't do a simultaneous closing. You just have to close the next day once we get the confirmation from the lender that all forbearance numbers are paid. So we figured that part out. But it's prolonging things, right? Pushing it through September. Eviction and foreclosure moratoriums extended through September. Big issue for and challenge for investors, but that's part of what we've been dealing with, and we've started to see our foreclosures. I think only about 50,000 homes were foreclosed on in 2020. I mean that's almost down 50% from the year over year. So I mean it's actually not a bad number. We'll keep monitoring that. I think once the big gasp of what's happening with forbearances and everything kind of settled down, and we were provided guidance with all of our warehouse lines and all of the servicing side and what money we could be able to access to keep mortgage companies and servicing companies going while the person's not making the payments. The mortgage companies still have to make payments out, how that applied and what funds we could access to cover that. Three big announcements on who Biden's putting into office. You have Gensler with the SEC, Chopra with the CFPB, and Yellen with the Treasury Secretary. These two right here, Gensler and Chopra, what we understand there is they're very much aligned with Elizabeth Warren, and it's more along the lines of more regulation, higher scrutiny, okay? That just is going to translate for banks and real estate and mortgages and all that kind of stuff. It's just going to translate into more regulation and higher cost. Okay, that's what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, we don't know really what that impact is going to be, like what kind of regulation we're looking at, what potential costs could be. It's just something that, based on their policies and what they've done in the past and who they've aligned with, could potentially put us in the place where we get more regulation and higher costs. We've been able to weather pretty much every storm that's out there. I don't see it posing a significant challenge to us, and the fact that we have a very friendly individual in Yellen is a Treasury Secretary. She is pro-housing, and her policies have been very solid for our industry. So we feel like that's going to be somebody positive that's going to help offset any other type of conversations around regulation.